Okay. Next, we have the consent agenda. We have the sheriff's report, quarterly report, and we have the September 2016 building department report. So, I'm the sheriff.
I am
Buckley?
How's everybody?
Good, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm assuming that everybody received a copy of the quarterly report
They
for
did.
Yep.
quarter. I reviewed it. There's nothing outstanding or anything that gives me cause. And you've spoken with the township officers. Things are proceeding pretty smoothly. We haven't had too many issues or problems this summer. It's been actually a pretty good summer. Does anyone have any questions regarding the report itself?
I see domestic assaults up just a hair.
They were up a slight tick. It's 7 last quarter, up to 13. Sometimes you can't explain all.
You guys be
I'll
careful.
be honest with you, I don't really know what to say about them. And why they might be up right now, or why they're down, or
You guys be careful on those.
trying. Maybe a little bit dangerous.
One thing I'd like to mention, 2 meetings ago, we had several of the residents signed a paper that they'd like to have us do something on M29 between the Marine City limits and the little grocery or Francis Street. They want to get that all no passing zone, and that's an MDOT highway. So we really don't have jurisdiction over that highway. But could we maybe beef up our patrol through that area for a little while?
You could, and I could the speed trailers probably now in place there for a little while. I know we had it south of there a little bit.
Yeah, we had it on Urban Drive there too, and we had it down by the city limits.
Yep, they're back at the office right now, getting recharged, batteries are getting recharged, but I can have one placed there as soon as they're good to go. We should probably be about it.
One of the biggest complaints that the residents have are the passing there. They would like to see if we could get that no passing. I mean, I told them that they should petition MDOT to do that, or the county, but the county maintains it for them, but they don't have jurisdiction over it.
You're correct, sir.
Is there any help you can give us on that, or
North Marine City limits
to Francis
to
Street?
Francis Street.
And what it is, the people all have to cross the road there because the river's on the other side of the road from their houses. And when they step out there and then a car starts passing, well, then they speed up,
Given that this is a state highway, I really don't have much to offer right now as far as how to get that done. I know that a lot of the other streets work is required to make most of the changes as a road study by the state police, and they'll come in and conduct a brief survey and a study on that section of the road and then recommend changes to MDOT. I could contact my friends at the state police and see if they're able or willing, and I could talk to the road commission and see what steps might need to be taken.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. It might be better coming from you guys than it would be from coming from 4 or 5 residents or the township.
For the time being, what I will do is I'll have the speed trailer placed there tomorrow, and I'll speak with both of the deputies assigned to East China Township, have them spend some extra time there and
Yeah.
watch the traffic.
We're not having any problems with our deputies. I think they're doing a great job.
That's good to hear.
If they could just maybe, I've been trying to catch them, but they come in when I'm not here, or I'm here when they're not here, so if you could pass that on to them, that would be
I
better.
can do that, absolutely.
Larry, does it go from 25 to 35 there? Is that what it is?
45.
30 to
It's-
45.
It's,
I think 30 coming out of Marine City.
it's
And it jumps up
40
to
all the way
45.
to the, 40 all the way to Hills, and then it's 50.
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
The issue you have is that you have people looking at the river doing 20.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, it's a sightseeing.
And
public too.
that's the reason why we live here, right?
Yeah.
And it's a twisty, turny road, and the mailboxes are on the other side of the street.
There is a lot of things there that could add up to disaster for these heading for a lot of people.
I guess if you're really in a hurry, you shouldn't take the scenic. Go the other way.
So does anybody else have any questions for the interview?
Nope.
As far as the other things that we got going on, I wanted to let you guys know that I haven't been here since we did the drug task force presentation. Lieutenant King was here, I was somewhere else, I think that night, we were in the same presentation. You were one of the first townships that we did a presentation to. You were one of the first townships that we asked to support, and you did support that, and I want to say thank you. As you know, passed 60-40, so it was when you look at a millage increase especially, I think that's a pretty good number. I think the citizens were behind us on that. As far as an update on that, as you know, the funding won't come until January of 17, so we won't plan on spending anything until then, but we do have procedures in place so that on January 1st, we can start hiring people to fill those positions that the taxes are paid for, and the supervision changes that we're going to need for that. The other thing is I was present in the city of Yale about 2 weeks ago when the County Board of Commissioners held their commissioner meeting. They do it off-site occasionally in Yale, they had it that night. Prior to that meeting, there was a public meeting regarding the use of ORVs in the county. The Board of Commissioners passed that night, put onto full board resolution to accept the resolution to allow ORVs to operate in certain roads in the county. Once that is official ordinance of St. Clair County, it will be sent to all the townships by the Board of Commissioners themselves. But I wanted to let you know that as your police agency, we're here to help you if you have any questions about that. We don't have to wait for a meeting. You can give me a call and we can discuss it. The Sheriff's Department really took no position on that. It's not really our place to say one way or the other how we feel about it. We did get our fingers involved because of a couple reasons. Number one, we really wanted the county to have one ordinance that the people of the county can understand and that the deputies can understand, so we weren't trying to enforce a different ordinance whenever you cross the township border. And the second issue that we took to heart kind of that we wanted to get involved with was making sure that some of the safety issues that were addressed in there were addressed properly. One of the things we did is make sure that the ordinance does not allow ORVs to be operated on paved roads that have a speed limit exceeding 45 miles per hour. We didn't want them going up and down King Road and places like that where traffic travels at 55, 65, 75 miles an hour at times. So we did have a little bit of a hand in that. Again, we didn't take any position for or against it. We just wanted to make sure that if it did become part of the county ordinance, that we had at least a say in the matter, some of the things that we wanted to see. So again, once that's out, I believe it's probably already passed full board, but then there's a period it has to sit and wait, posted and things like that. There's procedural things that have to be done. But once that's part of the county ordinance, if this township or anybody on the board has any questions at all, please don't wait for me to come back to the township meeting. Give me a call or the sheriff, and we can discuss it. It's one of those things that the sheriff handed to me and said deal with this, so I've been kind of intimately involved with it for several years now. So I do have quite a bit of knowledge on it, so if there are any questions, please don't hesitate.
I know one of the things that when they do pass it countywide, they would like all the townships to at least try it out for a year. And then, but you can opt out at any time of your township.
Townships can opt out, and you, as a township, because the time period has expired, you could pass any ordinance you want and make any changes. I think personally, in the way it's written, it's not horrible. Whether you feel that ORVs should be ridden on the road or not is one thing, but if it's going to be an ordinance and going to be allowed in St. Clair County, I think there's a lot of things in there to make it palatable. I think it's going to work. We can live with it.
Yeah, I don't think we have a problem here in East China.
No, I
Some
don't
right
think you
now.
do really either. Obviously, M29 would be exempt, it would be a road. You
Right.
could travel on it to get to another road.
King Road would be
King
exempt.
Road would be exempt. And whatever other roads in East China Township themselves. Most of the other ones would be open.
So
Dirt roads would be open.
they could ride on the road surface itself, not the shoulder, but
They
the
have
road
to stay on the
surface,
shoulder, they have the speed limit of 25 miles per hour.
on the shoulder.
On the shoulder. They have to travel in single file. There's time limits. They can't, it's essentially, just look at notes in the back of the report, I can't remember the time. It's like from 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, okay.
just have to,
I think we passed that out a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. Yep.
yeah, it's
They have a
really
copy.
boilerplate language from the state, so there's, we made a few tweaks here and there, but, so it's something that's coming.
You can see what happened to me the last time I rode my RV.
I
The
don't
bike
see,
path will be exempt from it.
I-
Well, that's what I'm saying, maybe it'll keep them off the bike path.
you know,
you
that's
can enforce it.
different, that's a bike path's different than a road. No motor vehicles at all.
Correct.
And if we have to have a meeting with that, we'll be more than willing to call you in.
Impact on this township.
Does anybody else have anything?
Major roads.
That was good.
We're good. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, yeah.
Take care.
Okay, we have, you have this September 16 Building Department report in the consent agenda. If that's all set, then we can, motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we accept the consent agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to disbursements, we have invoices of $7,979.88. We have accounts payable of $214,423.19. We have a payroll of $15,422.91. We have a payroll direct deposit of $14,352.72. We have the EFT account of $31,143.13. And we have a tax account of $2,310,575.87, for a total disbursement of $2,593,897.70.
I'll make a motion, we pay the disbursements and bills in the amount of $2,593,897.70.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we pay the bill of $2,593,897.70. Is there any further discussion on disbursements?
I got a couple questions.
Yep.
On the invoices, page 5-10, might be an easy one. Why are we paying $300 to CXS?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Ralph.
Again.
A
He
year
likes
ago,
it
I had
every
that
year.
same question, and I did some in-depth studying on that. In fact, I called the railroad and I said, if we're paying $300 to put up, and what we have is we have our sewer pipe coming from our sewer plant. Goes underneath the, it's the bike path now.
Yeah.
That property is still owned there by the railroad. And I said, well, if that's the case, why don't we just buy that property from you? 20 feet wide and 6 feet.
We bought that property back years ago.
Not there, that's the other side of Rico Road.
Because we bought it all the way down to DeGersey in Marine City,
Where's it start?
at DeGersey to,
This way.
oh, well,
Anyways, I called the railroad and I had lengthy discussions, and she said, you have to pay that because we have a contract and that's what we charge, $300 a year for that. And by the time we would have went through all this other stuff, it's cheap to pay $300 like we've been doing for 30 years, I guess.
They did not vacate that railroad?
Not there, nope.
Not where they can
That
claim
was
$300 because there's a pipe.
Oh, it's because the path isn't over on that side of the road, is it?
No,
I see.
that's the old railroad bed there.
yeah, see, when Curly made the motion to buy the railroad bed for a bike path, he thought he was buying all the railroad that's coming through the township. He thought he bought the whole right-of-way thing. And it went, like I said, it went down to DeGersey in Marine City, so the bike path that goes to DeGersey in Marine City is actually ours.
So
Right,
it's
not this
it's
end.
Record Road South,
Right.
Yeah.
and this sewer line is on the north
North side.
side of
Right,
Record
Rico
Road. What a dirty
Yeah, I did
trick.
a lot of phone calls just to get a hold of the railroad company to get to the right person. And I finally got to the right lady, and, because I said, why are we paying, let's just quit paying it. No, that didn't work.
I thought you didn't pay it last year, Larry. Didn't you say you didn't pay it last year? You wanted to wait to
We
see what
weren't good. I
happened?
said, let's just not pay it.
Right.
But then after I got back with that woman, she said, you got it. This is a contract or what we have with you. You have to pay this.
And how long does the contract go till? Do we know?
As long as we want to have our sewer line going underneath that property. It's like an easement. So, yeah,
Do we need, you know, for a lot of those 300s, we could take the sewer line, make a little U-ey on it.
put on the other side of the road. Well, when you do the multiplication times 30 years times 300, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, well, interesting question. The other one is on the checks, page 3-6. We appeared, fourth one down, we appeared to have written a check to ourselves.
3-6.
Fourth one from the top. I was just wondering why.
For 210?
Yeah,
Mine's not.
You might be,
It's the
you
other.
might be paying the water bill for,
Where is it at?
it's right
page
there.
3-6, fourth one from the top.
$210.
Page
You
3.
might be paying the water bill at one of the parks or,
No, that should come out of their
Fourth one from
budget.
the top.
well, the checks on here are all the checks that get paid. It doesn't,
210.
this doesn't tell us
It
whose
doesn't
budget
break
it's
the
coming
budget
out
down.
of, right.
3-6.
Right here.
Three of six.
210.
210, right.
How's it? 310.
Sorry, we have to-
And if you probably don't know, I'd kind of be interested, it caught my attention that we are apparently paying ourselves. I just wondered why.
I'll find out.
I have no further questions.
It probably is. Here, you want to look through there and see if you can find it? You can look through it and see if, it should be check number 3056-1.
Red brick usage and park usage. It's the water bill.
Yep.
The water bill from the park?
Park and the red brick school.
Red brick and the park.
Okay, I guess the accountant will figure out what to do with that. Take it out of one pocket and put it into another.
Yeah.
Well, it's that sewer and water authority, you know, you gotta cut us some slack on it. Okay, anything else, Ralph?
Nope.
Anybody else have any questions about the disbursements?
Nope.
If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Knotts?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Mr. Patsoulis?
Yes.
Cram, yes. Mr. Boda?
Yes?
Mr. Simons?
Yes. Motion carries, we pay the bills. Moving on to new business, we have an appointment of Carrie Ann Kotz to the Historical Commission through October 3, 2019.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Carrie Ann Cox to the Historical Commission through October 3rd of 2019.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we appoint Carrie Ann Kotz to the Historical Commission through October 3, 2019. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome, Carrie Ann. Next thing under new business, item 2 is a 750 document on demand proposal. You have that in your packet. This was brought to me by our office manager. And what this is, this company will take all of our minutes from all of our different committees and put them on our website. So they'd be accessible to anybody. We can put a link on it. They can go onto the website. So initial setup includes all the minutes, agenda packets, ordinances, resolution as far back as the township has them in electronic format for all boards and commissions into the application. And what this is, it's $250 to set it up, $500 an annual posting fee. China Township is using this and they love it. Maybe Dee can talk a little bit more about it.
one of the clerks meetings that I went to, they came in and did a presentation, and at a job I had prior to this, we had the scanning feature like this and had the stuff that was accessible. Way easier to find information when you need it. You can look it up with keywords. You can look at things up by date. It sorts it and keeps it in all the different.
I had a system set up like that, GM where I worked, we set up a system like this.
It's really nice, and I know that I talked to Christy at China about it. She loves it. They use it all the time, so.
I got a couple of questions.
So, does anybody have any more questions
Yeah, I
about
do.
it? I say we could even try it for a year. I mean, we can stop it at any time.
You just said that they would do all of the records as far back as we have electronic copies.
That was the electronic is what threw me for a little bit. But we have
If
Sandy.
we don't have them on already on electronic, they don't do it. That's what you just said. That's what I'm
Correct.
wondering. Well, most of ours, when you go back
Right.
not much very far, are all on paper. They'd have to.
I thought she said they would come in and scan them.
If they would digitize it, that's a whole different wall of wax, but if they're only gonna do the ones we've already got
Right.
on, electronic, I would say no.
But these are typed and saved in files. That makes it
So
electronic.
that channel, they set it up so they
Could
could,
we know how
When this
far back?
gets-
they could
when
copy
this
it, they
gets
could,
typed up
you know,
And
scan
put in
it.
your packet,
And they can
it's
add
now an
the
electronic copy
tags
that
to
can
it,
be put into
the
the
way they
system.
went.
I
As
agree
far
with Ralph.
back
If
as
they don't,
when?
they don't
This
scan.
township
Oh, I don't
started
know.
1854.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how far back.
The other thing I
they
was gonna
type it
ask
up.
is, if we do this, does that relieve us of the responsibility of storing the hard copies that we have
No, we will
thousands
still
and
have our hard
thousands and
copies.
thousands
We
of?
will still have all our hard copies. I agree with you, Ralph. If we're just gonna give them the stuff that we got on the computer,
We,
We already got it.
yeah, then if they're gonna come in and scan all our documents.
Right.
Then I say I would be in favor of that.
well, you know, they can pick the stuff we've already got on the computer and scan the ones that we don't. And
I don't
then,
think
and then they're
that-
gonna digitize them and, you know, and give them some kind of a system to access them. It's,
They're
be
not
interesting.
gonna come in for that price and scan the stuff that isn't already accessible electronically. They will teach somebody here at the office how to use the equipment so that they can do that. But they're not gonna come in and go through boxes of old papers and, scan.
is this do we have a big problem in this township with respect to accessing
Well,
documents
if
on
we have to look
request?
up something back for minutes, something was said 5 years ago, we know what was in the minutes, but then you have to kind of narrow it down, what year was it, and they have to go through and read the minutes.
You could look through literally this book trying to find something that you want because
No, you just told me those suckers on electronic files. That's a lot different than going through the book.
To
Well-
a certain point, they're electronic, but
you could sit on the computer and look through somebody's file folder on the computer at the different minutes that are saved, but if you can't look it up by keyword. It's not like when you search for a missing email and you
Yeah.
type in somebody's specific name and it finds it. You have to literally sit and read each one because you
Yeah.
can't look it up that way.
I think I'll ask my question again, though. Do we have a big problem with this in this township?
we will eventually.
I think we should table it and find out what they're gonna actually do with the documents that aren't electronically stored in the township right now.
Can we also find out how far back we have? What year did we start keeping electronic files? Is it 2 years or is it 20 years ago that we started keeping electronic files? The issue's gonna be if the system works out, it's just going to get worse from here on out. Assuming we plan on being around for at least another 100 years as a township, correct?
Nobody's got me. Be good.
I'm
What
not
we
going
said.
to.
If you go in and scan by keyword, you're only gonna get the ones that are already electronically recorded. There are a lot more than that.
Right,
That-
yes, for the
so-
$250, they're not putting all the stuff
Yeah,
that's
but
out
if
there in
somebody
boxes.
asks you an FIOA, whatever, Freedom of Information Act, and you just scan the ones that you got electronically, you're not answering the question. I don't know. I don't see how this improves us a whole lot. I would go along with Larry's suggestion that maybe we table it, think about it for a bit.
I'll make that motion if you want to table it until we find out the answers to those two questions. Anyway, so how far back we go and are they gonna scan everything that's
Is this
not
payroll and audits, payroll audits and all that stuff too?
payroll?
Payroll records?
Yeah, I don't know if we would put payroll in there, because we wouldn't want that going up to the,
For example, our audit reports for the last 50 years, 20 years.
Scanning services.
payroll, I can ask you.
You know,
So we have to scan.
I know the audit,
Well, either that.
I don't know whether we get, I see we get the little book on the audits, but I don't know if we get an extra electronic copy of that or not.
You know, they used to have stuff.
Yeah, it says right on here, archive, upload, and index older documents at your own pace. Editable calendars for meeting dates, events.
1920.
Right.
I can find those out. Say, I'm making a motion.
I'll support your
That
motion.
we table it until we find out if those three things are on there.
As you'll support it.
All right, it's been moved and supported that we table this until we find out the answer to a few more questions. I mean, we haven't had it for 100 years, so I guess another couple weeks.
It
is
also
not-
says on here you could keep shared data, you could keep it hidden for internal use only.
Right, that's why I said we can put a link on there to put parts of it that we want to make public.
But anyway,
Okay,
what I'm concerned about, I haven't heard anything about us having a big problem on this line. Do we need to create one?
well, right now, we're trying to do it with, one person is trying to type all this stuff and put it in a file, and it's time consuming. And they're just doing the minutes. So, okay, is there any further more discussion on the documents? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution 8-26, or 2016, and it's the East China School District non-homestead millage request. We talked about this before. What they're doing is asking the township board to give them a resolution supporting this, and like what we did for the drug force millage.
Right.
So with that, I'll read this. Resolution 8-2016, East China School District non-homestead millage request, East China Township, County of St. Clair, Michigan. Minutes of the regular meeting of the Township Board of East China Township, County of St. Clair, Michigan, held in the Township Hall on the third day of October 2016 at 7:30 p.m. Following resolution was offered by myself. Whereas on Tuesday, November 8, 2016, the East China School District has placed a proposal on the ballot to renew its non-homestead millage, and whereas a non-homestead millage is not paid by homeowners on their primary residence, so therefore does not impact homeowners' property tax, and whereas the rate collected by this existing millage on commercial businesses and second homes is prevented by law from increasing. And whereas the money collected from this millage provides $14 million or 35% of the operating funds for the East China School District each year and cannot be made up by the state of Michigan or any other manner. And whereas the East China School District is requesting 19 mills to guard against the current and future Headley rollback of non-homestead millage, but required by law to collect no more than 18 mills regardless of what is approved. Therefore, it be resolved that the East China Township Board supports the proposal put forth by the East China School District and the academic, arts, and athletic programs it provides to its students. All resolutions and part of resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution be, and the same are hereby rescinded.
I'll support that.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Is there any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Or resolution carries. Moving on to announcements. I really don't have any announcements right now. I got a few things that I'll talk about in my other comments, but nothing on announcements. So We'll move on to member comments. Mr. Casalis.
Nothing this evening, Larry, thank you.
Mr. Boda.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Ms. Graham.
I'm good.
Mr. Blackshaw.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Downs.
Yes, I need to bring up one thing. I reviewing the revenue and expenditure report, particularly as it pertains to our water and sewer fund for the China Township. The good news is, after the recent change we had made to go to ready to serve and changing the things to see how it was going, the sewer fund seems to be doing quite well. I don't see any reason to make any changes to that. However, the water fund is marginal. I tried to do a few projections. It looks like we're selling more water, which is a good thing. But it is still very, we're talking about within $9,000 of a $160,000 budget. And it seems to be continually, the amount of leftover at each month continuing to drop. And I would recommend that we look at next week. I would recommend that we, that's effective the 1st of January, that we would increase the water rate by 10 cents per thousand, and see how that works through the end of 2017. But I think we need to look at that.
When was when we did the ready to serve? When did we institute that? Was like in October of last year or November? October, I think, was the first.
I believe so. It's been in about a year, and frankly, we came out pretty close. I'm not.
But you're saying we don't want to go into the red on it?
It's better to stay ahead of the game, and I'll talk to the residents, than to wait a couple of years until you're behind and you got to make $1 or a larger increase. I can see that it's getting close to parity right now, and in a month it could drop negative, but it'd probably go back up positive. But it's right on the borderline. 10-cent increase. The way I figure with the way we're increasing in sales of water would probably generate about almost $16,000 additional revenue. So that puts us back into maybe $25,000 a balance. You got to look at the fact that we carry a balance in that fund because they don't charge off any of the fund charges like the sewer, where you have to keep money up in the fund to handle things that come along unexpectedly. Now, the sewer fund's in good shape with that, with respect to that. The water fund, I'd recommend that we look at a 10-cent increase. It's a modest increase, and I think it will keep us out of trouble through the end of 2017.
And that's been our history, that we've done that, is we've done 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents. So I think we should be proactive and stay ahead of the curve.
Take a look at it. Everyone want to take a look at that, they want to talk to it. I think maybe we ought to bring that up at the next meeting.
Yeah, I
and
wrote it
then-
down for the next, I'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah, put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and make the increase effective 1 January.
It's going up over $75 since that
Okay.
phrase come on.
All right, anything else, Ralph?
No, sir.
Okay, I got a couple things. One is, we're working on the budget. We're making a lot of headway on it right now. I would like to see if we could have the budget approved at our first meeting in November. We could get that done. And that being said, we're gonna have to someplace fit in a budget workshop between now and the first meeting in November.
Can we do that budget workshop before one of our meetings? Would that be possible?
Yeah, we could, yeah, our
I
next
don't know what
meeting.
everybody's schedule is, but maybe before the next meeting, have it at 6:30 instead of 7:30, or, I mean, I don't know how long we need, but,
I can get, and prior to that, I can get everybody a copy of the budget, so you guys can
Okay.
go through it at your leisure, and then,
That'd probably be the easiest for scheduling.
so maybe at the, before the next meeting.
I think you're going to need more than half off.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, we could come in at 6, or
6:30
Yeah.
till 7:30, yeah.
6:30. You can't do it in an hour.
It's a lot of pages.
We'd have to start over.
Well, that's what I say.
Now,
In
given that we have it in advance. we'll look
advance,
through it.
you should
Yeah,
be able to go
okay.
through and highlight what your questions
All
are.
right.
Okay, and with that being said, as you all know, we had an announcement here this past Thursday, about DTE building a new plant here in, right now, they said China Township, so. I mean, it's a great thing for St. Clair County, the school district. It's good for here. I mean, there'll be some new housings. I mean, I wish the plant was here in East China, but right now it's in China. But we'll see what comes of that. I think it was a great announcement. It's still out there a long ways. They're talking about not having that plant on until, I believe it's 2011.
2022,
2021.
2021.
2021. So it's out there a ways before that plant, but I would imagine it's going to take them 2-3 years to build it, so there'll be a lot going on in the township.
So it's China for sure, because somebody I saw this weekend told me they read in the Times Herald it was here in East China.
I'll quote and I have it here.
No, it's going on the other side of the railroad tracks.
It'll be
That's
adjacent to the
East-
Bell River
that's
Power
China.
Plant in China Township.
Okay.
That
on
is,
the other side
Because
of
that's
the
Press
what I said,
release.
and they said, no, I read in the paper, it was East China. I go, well, that's not what I heard.
now, if you read the Times Herald, they had a picture of the Bell River Power Plant in East China Township. That's what the heading said.
But it's not.
When you read the article, it said, going to build it adjacent to the,
Yeah,
that was a news release that we got here in the township.
the big,
So-
it's the big field on the other side of the railroad tracks, which makes it in China Township.
So, with that being said, I think it's a great thing, and there'll be a lot more to come on that. With also what they're gonna do with the St. Clair plant. I understand they have one unit back on now, with more units to come. So they're hoping to get a lot of the plant back by Thanksgiving, so that's a good thing for everybody.
China's just gonna have a whole lot of tax dollars with the two plants.
So with that being said, that's all I have. So next, I would like to make a motion to go into closed session, and I would like to say that no more business will be conducted in East China. After the meeting, we will just adjourn, so there'll be no more decisions or anything made at this board meeting today.
Can
I'll
I
make
ask
a
one more
motion.
thing before we take off? Perhaps for next meeting, maybe we ought to resurrect what we are going to do with Intera's proposal for an additional year.
Oh, okay. I'll put that on there too.
Also, more closed session motion.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session to discuss the contracts.
Support.
okay, if you've been moved and supported that we go into closed session, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are going into closed session, so everybody will have to leave. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right.
See you later. Thanks.